You support not just the populist right, but the far right. In fact, very fringe parties in some countries.
No, I support the normal people.
Okay.
What you call the far right, falsely.
You think as the normal person. Okay.
Yes. Literally, you could go back 10 or 15 years, and these policies were completely normal. In fact, one of the tricks that I think is funny. One thing that's quite funny is to like take a speech from Obama and Hillary, and then go to someone and say, who's sort of on the sort of what I call the lunatic left, and say, what do you think of the speech by Trump? I'm like, oh wow, he's the worst person ever. Actually, that was a speech by Obama, or actually, that was a speech by Hillary.
I agree. No, I agree that the center of gravity in this country has shifted. Certainly, the Democratic Party shifted to the left. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people like Rupert Lowe. I'm talking about people.
It's actually just normal people. It's just normal people. It's just normal people. And and here are the principles. And tell me which of these sound terrible. That we should have secure borders. That we should have safe cities. That we should have sensible spending. Which of those three are far right fringe?
No,
and I would like to just admonish you and the media for the absurd characterization of the far right. It is false and misleading and nonsense. Please keep this part in.
We'll keep all of this in, but let me
cut this part.
Let me push back on that. Let me push back on that
because
you have
nonsense.
Elon, you have what is it? Close to 250 million followers on X.
Yeah,
you say things like,
popular guy.
Quote, civil war in Britain is inevitable. Just a question of when.
On the current trend, yes.
I mean, when were you last in the UK?
A few years ago.
Exactly. So I live there. I'm there the whole time. That is nonsense.
You live in a cloistered existence.
No, I don't, actually. And the numbers also disprove what you say.
What numbers?
All the numbers about crime. London is a much safer city than any city in the United States. Violent crime in the UK is not where you think it is. In fact, it's coming down. You have painted, and because you have so many followers, so many Americans believe it, a kind of view that Europe and the UK are kind of, overrun with terrifying Muslim immigrants. There's rape on every corner. There's a sort of civilizational destruction.
I haven't said any of those things. If you have a large and rapidly growing group of people whose beliefs are antithetical to Western beliefs, at some point there will be a reckoning. They will try to implement their views, and those who oppose it will oppose it, and that's what you call civil war. And obviously, this is the trend. And you absolutely do live in a cloistered existence. And if you'd like, we can go on a tour of Britain.
Sure. I'd be very happy to come on a tour of Britain.
And you will see for yourself.
You come see my country that I live in all the time, and you haven't been to a few years ago.
I've been there literally 100 times.
But when was the last time?
Literally a few years ago.
You know why this exercises me? Because you have really shaped opinion about the UK. And so many Americans I come across, and I have conversations with, and I just had one the other day, along the order of, oh, London's such a dangerous place. How can you know? There are sort of grooming gangs everywhere. There's violence everywhere. This is a picture that people get from things that you post or that are posted on X. And for example, you're posting for, what was it, 48 hours of Citizen Vigilante. That film, which, paints a dystopian, I've watched it.
Yes.
It was not fun. I watched it yesterday. It's not a very good movie. But it also paints a dystopian picture of Europe. And it glorifies vigilante violence. It glorifies the murdering of a Muslim immigrant family. I honestly think that it is irresponsible for you to put that up on X.
I think that it's a movie, and it's worth watching.
People say that you're a racist. What is the motivation for doing that? Are you fomenting?
My partner is she's half Indian, and and I have 4 children with her. One of them was named after a famous Indian physicist. So I would say I'm not racist. And also, if you look at the people that are employed at my companies, we have senior executives of all races. I don't think there's any racism there.
We started this conversation saying superlatives. It's why people loathe you. I mean, some people do loathe you.
Yes, some people do.
But do you understand why? Do you think what you're doing
Well,
is helpful for Western democracy?
Maybe some people do loathe me. And that's probably true. I don't care. But the fact that, as you pointed out, 250 million people follow me is that I think a lot more people actually like me than don't. And I think a lot more people hate you and the media more than you realize.
The interview between Elon Musk and the reporter is about much more than one public figure defending himself. It reflects a wider political battle over who gets to shape public opinion in the digital age. Throughout the exchange, two fundamentally different worldviews collide. One emphasizing concerns about immigration, national identity, and media credibility, while the other challenges Musk's framing of those issues and argues that his influence can amplify misleading narratives. The discussion begins when the reporter suggests that Musk supports not only populist movements, but also parties considered by many observers to be on the far right. Musk immediately rejects that characterization, arguing that the political center has shifted dramatically over the last decade. His central claim is that policies once considered mainstream, such as stronger border security, reducing government spending, and improving public safety, are now frequently labeled as far right by critics. By referencing speeches from former Democratic leaders like Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, Musk argues that many positions now viewed as controversial were previously accepted across the political spectrum. From a political communication perspective, this is a strategic move. Rather than defending individual political parties, Musk reframes the debate around policy rather than ideology. Instead of arguing about labels, he asks whether secure borders, safe cities, and responsible government spending should truly be considered extremist positions. This allows him to shift attention away from accusations and toward broader public concerns. However, the interviewer pushes back by arguing that Musk's enormous influence on social media carries significant responsibility. With hundreds of millions of followers on X, formerly Twitter, the reporter suggests that Musk's posts shape international perceptions, particularly regarding the United Kingdom and Europe. This introduces one of the central questions in modern politics. Should influential figures be held accountable not only for what they explicitly say, but also for how their audience interprets their messages? The conversation then turns to immigration and public safety. Musk argues that rapidly growing populations with values fundamentally different from Western democratic traditions could eventually create serious social tensions. He predicts that continued cultural conflict could lead to major political instability if governments fail to address these concerns. The reporter strongly disagrees, arguing that Musk exaggerates crime rates and presents Britain as significantly more dangerous than official crime statistics suggest. He also accuses Musk of helping spread an image of Europe being overwhelmed by immigrants and social disorder. This exchange highlights one of today's biggest political divides. One side argues that governments and mainstream media often understate problems involving immigration, integration, and crime. The other argues that emphasizing isolated incidents or worst-case scenarios can create unnecessary fear and distort public perception. Both perspectives reflect genuine political debates currently taking place across many Western democracies. Another significant moment comes when the discussion shifts to accusations of racism. Rather than responding emotionally, Musk points to his personal family background and the diversity within his companies as evidence against those claims. Whether viewers find this convincing or not, politically, it